Hi, I'm Tom Edwards. I'm the Chief Digital and Innovation Officer for the agency Business at Epsilon. And today I'm going to be talking about the second video from Facebook's F8 Developer Conference. This one's really focusing on how Messenger is evolving CRM. So just a quick recap of the event. One of the core foundational elements of the show was the fact that the future is now private. And Facebook put a lot of emphasis on how their platforms and their products are actually delivering on this message. And the one that really fits very nicely in this, and it's really becoming the centerpiece now of Facebook's strategy, is Messenger. So private messaging surpassed open social platforms back in 2016 in terms of monthly average users. And what's happened now, you've got over 2 billion people that basically communicate with end-to-end encryption. And what really happened is you're seeing a shift to where Messenger is now at the center of the ecosystem. So the traditional Big Blue, which was basically where we connect with friends and family, is now shifting more towards community and groups. And now for individuals and family and friends, it's all about Messenger. So that's Messenger at the center. So if everything is moving towards the center and there are all these new features to further enhance, the Messenger experience, trying to integrate more with whether that's co-viewing of videos. They launched a new desktop application to allow for basically interoperability between messaging. And that was one of the other things they talked a lot about too, is the ability to message regardless of the platform. So whether you're within Instagram, whether you're in Messenger, whether you're in WhatsApp, the ability to connect across the Facebook ecosystem is one of the core goals that they have, as an organization. So if there are 20 billion messages that are exchanged every month between people and businesses, there's a significant opportunity to evolve how we approach CRM. And that was discussed in detail during the show as well. One of the more interesting sessions was really focused on lead acquisition and lead gen. So you look at, traditional customer acquisition, there are really three primary ways in which Messenger can be used to help drive a customer acquisition strategy. There's the generation of leads, there's consideration, and there's re-engagement. So starting with the actual generation of leads, the way that it's done today is that essentially people go through the buying process. They start researching, they start going through. There are sometimes too many leads that are actually delivered to sales organizations, and the quality and the scoring of those leads, and also the time decay associated with those leads, can also become a problem. So all of this can impact sales because there are a lot of moving parts here and a lot of interdependency. What you begin to see with Messenger is that Facebook is really focusing on how to drive traffic into the Messenger experience. And now Messenger actually can take and qualify the leads. And some of the work that's being done for, say, like Chevrolet is actually using an AI algorithm to drive the qualification to map to high intent. And essentially some of the lower intent leads go back in for retargeting to get them back into the cycle. So as we talk about Chevrolet and lead generation, one of the things that they were doing is they were driving into Messenger and they were really focusing on progressive profiles. So whether that's gathering email, phone number, customer information, there was a lot of emphasis on how can they increase the amount of information that they can connect and really drive kind of a high intent lead. So what actually ended up happening here with this program is they drove a 30% higher conversion rate than any other online source. And the fact is, and here's the thing, with an email, it's kind of, you go through, you respond, you kind of drive it through, or there's a specific form, it's on the salesperson to follow up. With Messenger, you're creating that constant thread with the consumer that you can take 100 different ways. And you can also re-engage based on your interactions with that consumer once they've interacted with you as well. And it kind of cuts through some of the other noise that they may have on their device because it sends a top-level notification on the phone. But coming back to this specific piece, the click to Messenger ads is a format that they've really been pushing on now, and it's going to become even more important because one of the things that's happening is you've got a consolidation on the back end to where Instagram, Facebook Messenger, and WhatsApp are going to be sharing the same advertising network to where they're consolidating, and the full reach of that is now 2.2 billion people. So if all friends and family are moving into Messenger, the ad types are moving here as well. The way in which these are being structured is that you can actually drive different survey results with specific individuals. So whether it's a questionnaire, like for Mass Mutual on the screen here, they had a 12% increase in completed questionnaires, and they actually decreased their cost per lead here too. So there's a lot of information that you can glean, and it's a very seamless type of engagement. It's not going to a separate website to fill out all this information. You can actually pre-populate some of the form information directly within the tool, so that you can give very specific options, and it's a very quick and easy user experience. So this is an example, again, of the actual new lead generation template that's now in the Ad Manager. So what they've tried to do now is make it even easier for brands and organizations that are really focused on acquisition to generate leads. You can essentially see it right there. You can send a messenger directly from the ad type. You can ask a number of different questions. You can basically take and provide a few multiple choice pathways here, and you can then begin to quickly move into driving, whether that's to a physical location or whatever the call to action may be. And so it was a really interesting play here to show how Facebook is focused less on using data to connect with the consumer, but actually enabling and empowering brands to drive more first-party data collection with the consumers based on specific behaviors through Messenger. So I thought that was really, really, really interesting and something to definitely pay attention to. So that was lead generation. Consideration was also a big point of discussion here as well. Sephora has been pretty progressive when it comes to their focus on Messenger. So everything from trying out different looks, trying out some of the Spark AR functionality that exists within Messenger as well, because you can deliver those experiences via Messenger as well. But from a consideration standpoint, they wanted to actually try the new Facebook scheduling API. So you can actually book appointments via Messenger, and you can see it on the screen. So 60% more appointments booked on Messenger versus website, and 42% increase in showing up because they can actually send notifications and reminders directly via Messenger. It's a direct line into the consumer. And again, once you've made that connection, it's an open connection. So you can constantly continue to interact or potentially even re-engage with consumers. So the final area is really around re-engagement. And this was an example that was showed that basically we're talking about QVC and sponsored messages. So sponsored messages, essentially, once a consumer has interacted with you, you've acquired them through some type of lead gen activity, and they have an open thread with you as an organization, you can actually send a sponsored message to re-engage them to take a specific action, whether that's trying a different product, whether that's sending a specific offer. So here you can see that QVC was sending a very specific notification to re-engage a user who had purchased cosmetics in the past. And they actually saw a 5.3% higher return on ad spend compared to other re-engagement and retargeting solutions. Why? Because they already have that connection with the consumer. So that was one of the more interesting things. I've thought a lot about the role that Messenger is going to play in terms of connection. Previously, we've talked about hundreds of different use cases, from content delivery to booking appointments and all of these different kind of things. But the focus and emphasis on lead generation and on evolving how traditional CRM is done in terms of communication, I find really compelling, especially now that Messenger is going to be sitting in the center of the Facebook ecosystem. You start thinking about the impact that if we're driving all friends and family here, this is where the investment is happening to build out a consolidated advertising network on the back end. And then a focus on helping organizations drive progressive profiling directly with the consumer and better learn affinities to help drive additional personalization within Messenger and give a mechanism to re-engage those consumers. It's something to definitely keep an eye on. All right, as always, if you have any questions, my name is Tom Edwards. I'm the Chief Digital and Innovation Officer for the agency business at Epsilon. And you can follow me on Twitter at Blackfin360. Otherwise, have a great day.